Hey Scruffy, how you doing? I'm gonna scratch the screen. Yeah, glad you didn't. So you ready for food? So I'm a little bit early today. So there's a little more sunlight. Actually, I wasn't expecting sunlight, so it was raining this morning, and it was drizzling all afternoon, and basically it's been overcast all day. The sun finally came out around now, or actually no, about an hour ago. So, on the gloomy day, I didn't expect to see the sun. You're not meowing. Okay, well, I guess I'll just bring out the food then. Okay? So, here I come. So I got the food in my hand, coming through the door. Okay. The water. Okay, so I'm gonna walk past you. I'm gonna change your water now. So, can I see your battle wound? No? Okay, so the old water is out. I'll get the new water in. Okay. So yeah, I can't see your battle wound. Okay, so I'm going to sit down in the chair and get the glove on. And while you're fast. Oh, meow. So the weather was cold today also. So not a great day. So I didn't see Scruffy out because of the rain. However, I think late morning he appeared on the big table here. And so he basically slept on the big table all day. So a pretty uneventful day. So he didn't have the discovery out on the side like yesterday where he hissed at me. So he just decided to camp out on the big table all day. So my day kind of sucked. So I mentioned my aunt died a few days ago, and I'd really like to go to the memorial in person, but because of the lockdowns and all the craziness in the world now, it's actually a lot harder to get to. So I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, because so it's complicated by the fact that she lives out in the country, so I have to first get an air flight to another state, And then once from the airport, I have to figure out how to get to the countryside. So there are all sorts of logistical challenges I'm not really prepared for. So I'm trying to figure out, can I do this? So my first challenge was getting a phone, because I thought I would have to use Uber or Lyft or something like that. So I don't have cell service, and so I basically needed to get a SIM card really fast and a plan with it. Ideally, a very short-term plan. I just need a day, but of course they don't sell them that short. But a month will do. So I mentioned a few days ago I went to Target because they sold prepaid SIM cards for 1 month. And so I would be able to get one of those and get cell service, so I could basically do what I need to do on the phone, which would be like Uber or Lyft or something. So I'd have to get to the airport from my place, and then once I'm on the other side, I was thinking I'd use the Uber to get to the countryside. But I looked into it more deeply and thought about it, and unfortunately, that's actually not exactly as easy as it was going to be, or as I thought it would be, because two things. One, because it's the country, not a lot of people drive out that far and in that direction, so there's not always an Uber or Lyft going to that region. On top of that, because of all the lockdowns and stuff, even fewer people are traveling, so the rides are even more restricted. And then on top of that, my plan was to basically fly in and fly out that same day. And so since there's so few rides, and I have a very tight time schedule in theory, because I have to make sure I catch my flight, I don't have basically a lot of flexibility in my schedule. So the fact that there's such a shortage, I can't really rely on ride sharing. So it looked like my only option was to rent a car. So I start looking into that. But once again, because my time is so tight, I'm going to have to basically, I think I'm going to have to pay extra. So basically, I'm going to have to pay to not fuel up the car, because I was looking and it sounds like finding the gas station might be tricky to refuel before you return it. And then I also need to go through a vendor that actually has the cars at the airport and not like nearby the airport where you have to get a shuttle to go to and from the airport, because I don't think I'll have enough time to dally, so I need to get one that's close. So of course they charge more, so that would be a slightly more expensive rental, but actually I think it'd still be cheaper than like trying to use Uber or Lyft or something, because the cost of the ride sharing is actually pretty expensive to get out to that location. Okay, so anyway, I was prepared to do that, and so then I finally looked into the flights, and so I had two different things going on. So first, I have to get the flights, and second, I actually had an unused credit for a ticket. So this goes back a little bit. So there was a problem with a company I was going to consult with, and they were going to fly me out and basically everything was good to go. I booked the flight, and then like the last moment, the lawyers said no, cancel everything, and basically because of a crazy state law, it's too dangerous to hire consultants. So they basically scrapped the whole thing, and so I think we're about done here. So we'll do it one more full sweep maybe. So anyway, the company said it was their fault, so they reimbursed me for the ticket, and they said I could keep the credit. So unfortunately, it was non-refundable because when I scheduled it, it was like very short-term notice, and everything seemed to be good to go. I was like, why would we cancel this thing? So I was trying to save them some money because they were actually paying for the flight too. They just needed to reimburse me, but so I was trying to save them some bucks, and of course it got canceled. And so they said, yeah, you can keep the credit, and we'll reimburse you for the thing. So Southwest basically gave me credit, but since it was a non-refundable ticket, I had to use it. So then so I guess we should get you your food, huh? Ready for some food? Let's get you your food. Okay. And let me grab the brush. So he's standing up right now, so he's, I don't know, a little tense maybe? So anyway, there was a time limit on when I could use the voucher. I had to use the voucher buy, and then the COVID lockdowns hit, and so nobody was flying anywhere, and my thing was expiring. I reached out to Southwest, and because of the craziness, they were basically impossible to reach. So I left them a message through the website or something. Eventually they got back to me and said I need to call directly to basically deal with it. But since there was no place for me to go, I didn't call. So now I finally have a place to go. I called them, but yeah, the phone, so they told me which option to push and stuff like that, and the options changed, so they've changed a lot of stuff. So anyway, so there are two different things I said they were going on. So first is the voucher. So I called them today, and I was trying to see if I could use the voucher to basically schedule a flight, and basically they told me, no, the voucher, it's so old now that they can't do anything. And I was kind of really bummed that, and really disappointed that, they had no mechanism to basically help me. I mean, you would think with all the crap that's going on right now, and all the travelers that are affected, and the fact that the airlines are probably losing tons of money, that they'd be bending over backwards to get to treat the customers well, to get them flying again, and keep their business. But yeah, they basically said can't do anything for you. So tough luck. So then the second thing was actually getting a flight. So basically, because of all the rules and restrictions and quarantines and whatever, and the fact that I'm still not vaccinated and blah blah blah, I was trying to minimize my exposure to people. So basically I was thinking that the only way, the only viable way of doing this is me flying in and flying out. So trying to stay with somebody or get a hotel room or whatever, it's just going to complicate it even more and risk more exposure to both parties involved, me and the other people. So basically it means I need to get a flight out very early in the morning and a flight back very late in the evening, and that'll give me time to drive to the thing and then back, and then do all the things of show memorial service and checking in and out, getting for security, renting a car, returning the car, and whatever else that may happen. So I did not anticipate that the number of flights have been drastically reduced between the airports that I would go between. So before, they have multiple flights a day, nonstop, and the fares would be pretty cheap. But now, I'm looking at it, there's almost no flights that are nonstop. Most of them have a layover somewhere, and with layover, they would get there too late, so I wouldn't be able to make the trip. And of the non-stop flights available, the times are not good. So basically, I have very few options on the times, and I thought I finally tracked it. So I found an airline that had a flight that I think would work, but they're sold out on one of the legs, or so on the departure. On the return, they had room still. So basically, this isn't working. And then the cost of the flights are not cheap. So I was hoping to dampen the blow a little bit using a voucher. But I can't even use the voucher, so now I'm looking at something like $750 or something like that to travel, just the flight, and then probably another $100 for the car, and then I don't know how much for the Uber to get to the airport. So I'm hitting close to $1,000 for the trip. But even if I wanted to go, I can't because I can't get the flight. So I'm actually really kind of upset today, and I've been really kind of angry and bummed out and depressed. And I'm just not having a good day because this has been on my mind, and I feel really bad that I don't think I'm going to be able to be there in person. So they're going to have a Zoom thing, which I'll do, but I don't know. I feel guilty for not being there in person. I feel like I should be there in person. So one option I'm thinking about is I could drive all the way from here to there, but I can't do it in one day. I'd have to stay over at some hotel or motel or something like that. So again, I'm increasing my exposure. And actually, I'm not a very good driver, and definitely I don't have a lot of practice driving very long distances, and I actually don't know if my cars are going to hold up in a long distance trip. They're pretty old cars. So my main car is, my trusty car that I use is over 20 years old now. I guess I could rent a car and drive that. Actually, an option. Just thought of that. But again, I'm not a very good driver, and I don't know I don't know if I can make the drive. That's a long trip, and then I still have to deal with the lodging. And still, yeah, and I think both states, I think they have kind of a self-imposed quarantine, so I'm technically supposed to quarantine myself. So exposing myself to other lodging and stuff. That's just kind of complicate things even more. What a mess. I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking about it this evening, but I don't think I'm going to drive, so I can think of another way of pulling this off. I'll be looking into it, but yeah, I think at this point it's not going to happen. So, yeah, having a bad day because of it. So after the drizzle ended this afternoon, I went for a run to do my intervals. And it was all muddy, but I got my intervals done. Not sure how well I did. It seemed like I was a little further back on the track this time instead of further ahead, but I had to take some alternate routes to avoid some mud and some people. So I don't know if because I was farther back because of that or because I was moving slower. It felt like I was moving at the same rate I've been doing the past few weeks, so I don't think I was slower. But I felt like I was on par with my performance in the past few weeks. So it's probably just the alternate route. And, so it was muddy, it was cold. So I think it's going to continue to be kind of cold for the next few days. So I'm going to go for a bike ride tomorrow. It's going to be muddy still, I think. It's going to be cold, so my motivation at the moment is kind of low. It's probably also because I'm probably depressed. I'll probably force myself to go. I say exercise helps depression, so. So anyway, that's been my day, mostly. So, yeah, I still can't see his chest, so I can't get a better look at his, what I believe is a battle wound from a cat fight. Didn't see Boots today. Though I did see 2 cats at the park, or on my way to park. Yeah, one at the park and one on my way to the park. So I saw the gray cat that the woman feeds in front of her house. So he was hanging out in front of the house, of the woman's house. So I forgot to bring food again. I didn't try to pet him. I think he would actually let me pet him. He's a really friendly cat, especially compared to Scruffy here. He's let me pet him before, without food. And then at the park, I finally saw the black cat with white feet, the small one that sits in the middle of the grass fields and just seems to hang out in the middle of the grass. So I haven't seen him in a few weeks, so he was back. So I'm trying to look for Boots though. My suspicion is Boots is probably the cat that Scruffy got in a fight with, assuming he got in a fight. Though it could have been the other cat I saw that was fighting Boots, but I don't know. I've caught Boots in the yard recently, the past couple weeks. So I think, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Boots was the one that picked a fight with Scruffy. And Boots is a much bigger cat than Scruffy. And Boots seems to like to get in a lot of fights, so yeah, I feel a little bad for Scruffy because I think he might have lost the fight. And if the big giant pieces of fur that are hanging from him are a battle wound, yeah, it's probably the result of the losing the fight. So I think Boots probably scraped the fur right off of him, kind of skinned him, tore the fur off of Scruffy. So I don't feel bad for him. Oh, he's coming back. So you can move the balls. There's a little bit of food under the golf ball. Okay, I guess I'll just go in. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.